We now have investors for the Dongo-Kundu Special Economic Zone. We are finalizing, if not finalized, with KPA, with CESA, and with the investors, so that we can now develop and unlock the great potential that exists in Dongo-Kundu. I am looking forward to coming here in another 1 month or 2 months maximum. Moses, you better work on it so that we can come and break ground and begin to drive the whole economy of Mombasa using the special economic zone in Dongo-Kundu. I know there has been back and forth. We will shortly be approving in cabinet many of the things that are required, so that we can be able to unlock that potential. It is one of the commitments that I made, that we have discussed Dongo-Kundu for many years. It is time now to move it to action. And before the end of this year, you will see a different arrangement around Dongo-Kundu, and we can be able to unlock the potential for jobs, for growing the economy, for opportunities for business, using our special economic zone here in Dongo-Kundu. Systems that are in use at the port. One system by KRA, one system by this organization, another system by another organization. My instructions are that since we are consolidating all our digital frameworks around what we all know as e-citizen, the department concerned with e-citizen should now mobilize all our actors with the different systems so that we can make sure all these systems are harmonized, they can speak to one another, and we can remove the silos that are slowing down the delivery of services around this port. I am very aware that that process can be completed in the next 90 days. PS Somolo, please inform your colleague at Citizen Services and ICT to make sure that we bring all, and I already gave instructions to KRA on what they need to do in making sure that we have a system that has the capacity to harmonize all the different interventions and all the different systems, so that we can create a lot more efficiency. I know there has been a complaint that coming all the way from the city center to the terminal here near the port is a long distance. In fact, it increases the overall journey by almost 1 hour. So we have now decided that we are going to have a train station in the middle of town. So to the people of Mombasa, shortly, in the next 3-4 months, you will not need to come all the way to come and board the train or to engage matatus and tuk-tuks and boda-bodas. We will have a train station in town that will facilitate easier movement of both the people coming and the people leaving. There is absolutely no reason why we cannot engage the private sector to provide us the use of scanners as a service. There is absolutely no benefit in, as a government, owning these huge scanners, where to replace a bolt or a nut or something requires procurement and many other things. We should, Waziri Murkomen, PS Sagar, you should facilitate the port to engage private sector players to provide scanner services to the port. We don't have to deploy public money, my friend. Wacha watu wengine wafanye biashara. Tangaza kesho wafanye biashara wakuje, watufanyie hiyo kazi, sisi tuchukue pesa twende, na hawa watu wengine wafanye kazi yao. At a small fee, we can be able to deliver that service. Let us not hang into this procurement hangover, that we must procure this and procure the other and procure the other, and in the process do many other things that are not good. So let us get these scanners and work with KRA to make sure that we have facilities that can make it easier for goods to be inspected. We do not have to cause a lot of delay, backlog, because we have to inspect items one by one when we can actually use the facility of scanners. The scanners, I'm sure we have here, I'm told, they are a bit aged, they are few, and therefore they make the whole operation here take inordinate amounts of time. This whole process has to be supportive of our overall economy. We have a duty. This port is not a Kenyan port. This is a port that we share with many countries. And when things are not working well here, we are also affecting many other countries. I had a conversation with both the president of CAR and the president of Congo Brazzaville, and we are all agreed that we must connect Mombasa to the Atlantic. We must connect Mombasa to the Atlantic through Uganda, DRC, and then all the way to the Atlantic on the other side. I am happy that we are having a conversation with our brothers in Uganda so that we can extend both the SGR and the roads. There is just like a small section of about 800 kilometers in DRC. Then we should be able to be on the Congo River, and we can use that to transport our goods all the way to the other side of the continent. So we must look at this piece of infrastructure as not just about Kenya. But even as we do that, we must also agree that the port of Mombasa, we must work closely with the county government of Mombasa.
Particularly the port of Mombasa is perhaps one of the most coveted assets of the Republic of Kenya. And Your Excellency, this is where all businessmen and women meet as they trade to bring goods in and also as goods exit from our country. This is also a very important institution because it is not an institution for Kenya alone. In the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, it is mandatory under international law for Kenya to facilitate all its landlocked neighbors to make sure that they can be able to trade. And so Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, South Sudan, even Ethiopia lay an equal claim under international law to this port. So this is not just a conversation that is about Kenya. It's about the region, it's about Africa. And your presence here as the most recent and now most recognized champion for African integration is also appreciated, Your Excellency. And so we have agreed as Kenya and Uganda, we work hard together to make sure that we source for resources to enhance and continue the SGR beyond Naivasha, Your Excellency, to Malaba and to Kampala. And we did a very important communique yesterday, as you were well briefed, and the country is now well briefed, that will make sure that we work as a team. In any case, I told General Wamala, this railway was not called Kenya Railway. It's called Uganda Railway. So it should end where it is supposed to go, in Kampala and beyond. And the conversation is in the East Africa region is to make sure that it goes all the way to DRC. Myself and Honorable Moses Kuria established a committee in May, and we agreed that the committee should work and listen to stakeholders They sieve out the issues. Those issues have now been put in the booklet that you have, Your Excellency, there. And so this morning, we want to sample a number of the stakeholders to raise the issues. I know most of those issues are about procedures and also about non-tariff barriers. But you, Your Excellency, already will communicate to the public that we're working hard to make sure that on the infrastructure side, the roads, the airports, the port, including this port, we want also the support of these stakeholders who are here, Your Excellency, to help us get necessary investments to expand this port. We don't want, this is the most beautiful part of the port in terms of City 2. But there is a potential behind here. About 11 to 14 should do better. You know, Your Excellency, I was telling the MD and the chairman, even though their headquarters is very beautiful, it is blocking business. At some point in future, we should be able to bring it down and make it a bath. It will make more money for the country and take the office outside the very important, because it's a deep bath. We want to make sure this port is useful, Your Excellency, to the people of Kenya. And with your help and the help of the stakeholders who are here, we want to make sure that in the next few weeks, we get other investors to come and help us. You know, Lamu Port, we have sunk almost 70 billion Kenya shillings without any single ship at the moment bringing goods. And once in 3 months, there's some livestock that are carried away from Lamu. We want also the stakeholders to help us here to make sure that we get private investments that can make sure that the Lamu Port is going to be successful. On the road side, you have instructed that from Lamu up to Garissa and Garissa to Isiolo, we need to do what we need to do, and we will do it, Your Excellency, to make sure that that place is opened up. So on the infrastructure side, we are on course. On the issues that the stakeholders are raising here, that are technical regulations, charges, taxes, non-tariff barriers,